Hey there. As you can see behind me, we're at the Walt Disney Family Museum in the Presidio in San Francisco. I don't think I'm going to film an entire walkthrough for this because I want you to come and discover it for yourself. But we'll take a look inside and see some of the exhibits, and hopefully you'll learn something and want to come see yourself. Let's go take a look. Oh, hey. After not filming in the lobby area, we're in the first gallery now, detailing the family's history and Walt's early life. I'll be filming a quick walkthrough in each gallery, just to give you the flavor. But there is so much detail. If you can, you must go see it yourself, and spend at least 10 minutes in each gallery. Famously forging a birth certificate, 16-year-old Walt went to France in 1918 to drive an ambulance in World War I, like this one. And young Walt continued his youthful pastime of drawing and cartooning. In this next room, before we head upstairs, Walt began his animation career in Kansas City with Laugh-O-Gram. It was one of Walt's first failures, though, but the road now headed west. Combining live action with Walt's cartoons, the Alice comedies for Winkler Pictures rebounded his career and led to more and more work, even featuring his first signature character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. But it would be a legal setback over ownership of Oswald that led Walt to creating Mickey Mouse in 1928. Who might have been named Mortimer if Walt's wife Lillian hadn't famously suggested changing it to something friendlier. Thus, Mickey.
We had the orchestra going, and everybody had to synchronize. Keep that thing right on the button. We had a way of doing it, though. We had a little kind of a little beat that worked up and down, and there were so many of those beats, you know. There were all these things working for themselves.
Mickey was a runaway hit, already inspiring a merch craze by 1930. With the success of sound in the Mickey shorts, Walt created the Silly Symphonies to diversify, but also a way to beta test new animation techniques and styles.
So, with the success of Mickey, I was determined to diversify. I've been trying to.
And with the birth of his daughter Diane in 1933, Walt became a family man. Something that would inspire many future projects. But by the mid-30s, Walt had his eye on another milestone, his first feature film, 1937's Snow White. Starting a whole new era and growth in features as the studio soon relocated to Burbank.
In fact, run into him in the hallway and discuss whatever was on your mind.
He tells them in an office is just kind of a general business meeting. Well, I like to work in the unit. I go around the units when they're not there, so I can just sit down with the work, and they're not putting any pressure on Sully. When I sit and relax with the work.
Always hungry to see the ideas that would have developed, not within the daily routine, but what they had in mind.
The boys know that I do that. Boys know all kinds of tricks to find out whether I did anything. But on the rate papers, it's entirely different kind of thing. They don't know I took the pictures right back the way they were.
It was more Walt Disney Family cared about. He gave you private and stuff.
This animator's desk is great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the master showman, that's me, and by special permission of the management, is presenting to you the one and only
Released the same year as Pinocchio, 1940 also saw the highly creative Fantasia. One of the rules for non-commercial filming is to not film any Walt Disney Family Museum staff, so I'll blur out any I accidentally catch. Here's the top of the two-story display of the Multiplane Camera system. That allows for the photographing of depth and parallax in scenes. As the 40s began with a labor strike by animators that led to unionization,
Whatever way that comes out, I go. I said, then I keep
Walt himself headed on a Latin American goodwill tour.
You're safe, though. The big girls come out of lady two or three. With the big theaters and big old, and the center
And then the studio joined the war effort, making training films and propaganda.
So we experimented with Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi before the war intervened, and our studio, with all its talents and skills, was taken over 100% of the war effort. Now, this
After the war, the studio rebuilt by starting the golden era of animation, but also branching out into live-action features. Aside from his trains, two of Walt's personal passions were collecting miniatures and spending time in the outdoors. Now we get why Walt's chili is so famous. True Life Adventures was Disney's foray into educational nature films. And what a spectacular natural setting for this gallery as well, with this ceiling-to-floor glass window. But something much bigger was coming for Disney. Spending time on Sundays with his daughters, and sitting watching them from this exact Griffith Park carousel bench. Yes, I did have to sit a moment myself. Walt began to plan a place that adults and children could enjoy together. We'll get to that model shortly. In 1950, Walt created this 1/8 scale railroad in the backyard of his Holmby Hills estate. Dubbed the Carrollwood Pacific, the engine, the Lily Bell, was named in honor of Walt's wife Lillian. Walt would take it out and give rides to friends and family. The barn has been moved to Griffith Park now itself, and is open once a month for tours. But after several injury incidents, Walt's lawyers advised him to discontinue these excursions. That just got Walt thinking of building a real train guests could ride in a park. First, imagining it on a small plot of land in Burbank, adjacent to the studio, I did a walk looking at the site a few months back. But denied a building permit by Burbank, Walt began a search. A search that eventually led to Anaheim, California. And in just 2 short years, the dream of Disneyland became reality. Watch the excellent Disneyland Handcrafted documentary, or the Disneyland series by Alex the Historian, for a proper telling of the story. which leads us to the museum's feature display. The model of the Disneyland of Walt's imagination. Not representing any time period or even attractions that existed at the same time, but it is every land and attraction built or concepted by Walt, including ones not opened until after his passing, such as Pirates, the Haunted Mansion, Tomorrowland 1967, and Space Mountain. Take your time and take in all the amazing details in kinetic motion if you see it in person. It's gorgeous. Hey, I know these guys. These exhibits detail all the forms of transportation in the park, from the Omnimover to the monorail to the Mark Twain riverboat. Meanwhile, Disney expanded again into the medium of television. And further into live-action features. Including one filmed in Switzerland that led Walt to famously pen "Build this" on a postcard of the Matterhorn.
Dangerous camera location ever attempted to the top of mighty Matterhorn, a killer mountain.
Disney even oversaw the pageantry of the 1960 Winter Olympics. And pioneered the technical marvel of animatronics.
They say a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, but this little fellow here is worth a fortune, because we poured a fortune into creating him. The first problem was to make a move. Come on, Fresco, move. There. Come on, go on. We're back at you out your chest. That's the crowd.
Excellent. How about opening my beak? You put the words right in my mouth. You're a real animator. Now, let's see.
Cost a heck of a lot of money.
And themed 4 major pavilions at the 1964 World's Fair, including the beloved It's a Small World.
We
And Walt's greatest dream would begin to be planned in Central Florida.
Higher is the organization.
Walt would continue to travel with his family, but as the 60s passed their midpoint, an old polo injury began to bother him more and more. But the treatment revealed something far worse, a diagnosis of metastatic lung cancer. And on December 15, 1966, just 10 days after his 65th birthday, the world lost the creative genius of Walt Disney. After you exit into the gift shop, you can see the bottom of the amazing multiplane camera system. And then, to coincide with Disneyland's 70th anniversary, were more park exhibits in the rotating basement gallery. Starting with inspirations from Walt's youth and travels. the initial Burbank plans and change to Anaheim. These great opening day memorabilia pieces. And then details of all the Disneyland lands, past and present.
But this, I think, is the lens. This is where right comes But remember this seems like the center of it in Star Wars. Is that crazy? This is the Autopia. So yeah, this is the Autopia. This became the submarine. Yeah, sure. But this became the submarine. No trees, right?
is, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Wow. Amazing joke. There's a moderator. Really? See what happens when you build it, when you design a train actually build it. It's crazy. Oh, fantasy. Oh, look, this was the original design. Did they do that? Maybe it is. Maybe it's just.
Look, baby, house in the future, 1957.
That's cool. Yeah, stone joke. Oh yeah, I saw that.
And finally, there's these wonderful Mary Blair-inspired floor tiles. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of the Walt Disney Family Museum. I ended up recording a bit more than I expected originally because the exhibits were just so fantastic. So like and subscribe if you'd like to come on more walks and tours like this. And we'll see you soon. Maybe at Disneyland. Bye-bye.